Ellarigu Namaskara. First of all, I would like to start off by thanking you all for 11 subscribers. This is the first time I have hit double digits, and I am just extremely grateful to all of you for supporting me along this journey. And if you like the content, then be sure to share it with your friends, like the videos, and of course subscribe, because my goal is to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and you can help me out. Now, onto the video. So I've gotten a lot of questions from friends and from YouTube about how I build my shoulders up, and that makes sense because my shoulders along with my back are probably one of my strongest muscle groups, and that is almost 100% thanks to calisthenics. Surprise. So I started training my shoulders with weights only a few months ago, but one thing that really impacted the size of my shoulders was training for the handstand push-up. Now, training for the handstand push-up is a great way to build up your shoulders, especially as a calisthenics athlete, because you can't have small shoulders and be able to do handstand push-ups. It's just not possible. It doesn't work. So if you're taking away one thing from this video, it should be that training for the handstand push-up is going to get you big delts. Now, let's go more in depth. So, just basic anatomy, there are three parts of the shoulders, and that's the front delt, the middle delt, and the rear delt. So, your front delts, they're generally pretty developed because they're used a lot in any pressing movement. Like whatever pressing movement you do, you're going to be using your front delts. That's push-ups, dips, bench press, chest press, military press, shoulder press, any pressing movements you're going to be doing, you're going to be using your front delts and recruiting this muscle. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Your middle delts, this is what a lot of people talk about when they talk about shoulder aesthetics and getting that V-taper, broader shoulders. You're going to want to isolate your middle delts. I personally train lateral raises with both cable and dumbbell twice a week because I feel like if you have lacking middle delts, you just don't get that 3D effect for the shoulders that is so aesthetic. And lastly, rear delts. Funny story, I have never ever trained rear delts in my life. Not once have I trained my rear delts. My rear delts are built solely off of pull-ups and rows. And this is body weight and weighted pull-ups and body weight and weighted inverted rows. So those two have been able to get my pretty good rear delts. And as you see, the rear delts really give you that rounded look from the side. So there's something that you want to focus on as well. Now, if you're a beginner, I would recommend first starting off by getting comfortable with your body, 20 to 30 push-ups. That should be the goal, because once you get that, you can then build up and then start focusing on isolating or focusing on certain muscle groups and aspects of your physique. But if you don't have your basics, then it's kind of hard. So once you've gotten that down, I'm assuming you can do 20 to 30 push-ups, 10 to 15 pull-ups, and you've gotten your basics right. For my calisthenics boys and girls, I would recommend the pike push-up. It's obvious, you've seen it everywhere. You can also do pseudo planche push-ups. That's also an option for the shoulders, but me personally, I have built my shoulders almost 100% off of pike push-ups and variations of pike push-ups, right? So if your pike push-up, you then elevate your feet to put more load on the shoulders, that's elevated pike push-up. You can add weight to a pike push-up to make a weighted pike push-up. Then you have a floating pike push-up. Then you have a floating pike push-up extension, and then you have eventually your handstand push-ups. Handstand push-ups are what is gonna build your shoulders, because handstand push-ups are extremely heavy on the delts. You can't do handstand push-ups if you have weak and small shoulders. So by being able to do a handstand push-up, you will in turn have big shoulders. If you catch my drift. I'm not saying you need to be able to do handstand push-ups and you need to train for handstand push-ups to get big shoulders. That's not all what I'm saying. Because very recently I've also been including exercises like the barbell overhead press into my workout routine, but I would definitely recommend it, especially for calisthenics athletes. Now, I'm not saying you train for the freestanding handstand push-up. If that's not one of your goals, then it's totally alright. It's not an issue at all. You can just work up to wall handstand push-ups, and that's just lightly having your feet against the wall to support you with balance, and then you perform your handstand push-ups like that. Nothing wrong with that. Alex Leonidas made an amazing video about how handstand push-ups are great for your delts, and I will link that in the description below. And yeah, that's my secret formula to getting big delts. Something I will say, this is a little bonus tip that I will say, a lot of the people I've seen trying to get big shoulders only focus on isolation movements. Let me explain. Isolation movements are movements that target only one specific muscle. So for example, lateral raises, they only target your lateral delt. Rear delt flies, only your rear delt. You could say tricep extensions, bicep curls, all these are isolation movements. Now, you can't only do isolation movements for your shoulder, you have to have some compound movements as well. Things like pike push-ups, elevated pike push-ups, handstand push-ups, any pressing movements like bench press, chest press, shoulder press. I personally do the barbell overhead press because I find that works best for me. But find which compound movements work for you. Choose 1 to 2 that focus on the shoulder. I personally do a mix of handstand push-ups against the wall and barbell overhead press. But find what works for you. Take 2 compound movements and 1 or 2 isolation movements, and train those 1 to 2 times a week. Train those hard, and you will have some monster delts. Let me know if this works for you, and any questions you have, I will be more than happy to answer in the comments below. Thank you for watching. See you next time.